I could have everyone take their seats. Let's give a warm round of applause to Mrs. Saliba. Keeping watch. I would like to welcome all of you to this great event, the 100 Days Dinner, which is definitely one of my most favorite traditions of Tilton School. As I think some of you have figured out, we actually have 103 days, or when we finish up tonight, about 2,462 hours until commencement. And that's exciting. Tonight is a time for all of us, not only to celebrate this milestone, but to begin our goodbyes. And to figure out how you, the seniors, are going to depart our school. This year has been exceptional. It's been fantastic. And it's been that way because it's been fueled by your sense of pride in yourselves, and most importantly, our school. Tilton School is a great place, and you make it that way, and that in itself should give you a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. Your leadership has made a difference this year, and I'm really proud of that. Before we begin our meal, I would like to first extend a special thank you to the entire development office, which is seated right over here to your right. Lots of people have worked tirelessly on your behalf to make this event special, but the lead person is Miss Alexandra Sedgley. I want to honor her and her team with a round of applause. Now, before we have dinner, we're going to have our invocation. And I'm pleased to introduce Mr. Jake Beatty, Tilton School Class of 2013. Not yet, Jake. Not yet. There's more, Jake. A 3-year student from Mansfield, Mass. Jake's time at Tilton was transformative. He played soccer, he skied, he played lacrosse, and my favorite, he had the distinction of being on the club hockey team for his last 2 winters at Tilton School. Jake worked hard at his studies during his time. He received the Bowdoin College Book Prize, the English Department Prize for Improvement, and was also a McMorran Scholar during his senior year. After Tilton, Jake went to Hobart William Smith and then transferred to Bentley, where he received his MS degree in finance. After Bentley, Jake got a job as a consultant and then recently made the move back to the White Mountains and currently lives in Lincoln, New Hampshire. As you'll find out tonight, at his core, Jake is a smiling, enthusiastic, and principled person who cares deeply about Tilton School. It was my honor to ask him to give our 100 Days of Vacation tonight, and please, let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Jake O'Brien Beatty.
Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it. So, 100 days left. I remember us sitting right over there where you guys are sitting, and it was a funny day. Speaker made a bad choice and made an inappropriate joke, but we laughed about it, and now we're continuing to laugh about it, so it was good. But 100 days, craziness. I had so many different thoughts running through my head, as I'm sure you guys do now. Some people think about dinner, others think about getting back to the dorms. A couple studs over here thinking who they're bringing back to Prados tonight. But so, I'm just going to kind of give you a little outline of what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey to Tilton, a little bit about what I did at Tilton and what I learned at Tilton, and then some future advice, not advice, more thoughts. You guys aren't that much younger than me anyway, so I don't want to give advice yet. But my journey at Tilton started when I was a sophomore. As Mr. Sleeva said, at Tilton School, when I transferred here, I viewed Proctor and Tilton, fell in love with Tilton right away as my first choice. I sent in my resume, letters, everything everyone else did, and got a call from Tara Brisson, and I was ecstatic. I was so excited to go. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and and I knew right away. So I ended up telling my parents this is what I want to do. I knew it was the right thing for me, so I made the move. So now coming to Tilton, I pull up to campus and I walk in and see kids 8 feet tall, and I'm like, what the heck are they feeding these kids? It's insane. All the basketball players, never saw that at Mansfield. They didn't have kids like that around there. But I walk in my room and there's Alex Leibowitz. Some of you older faculty members might remember Alex. He was a funny kid. And it just, Tilton, one of my things that Tilton really taught me is how to foster a relationship, create relationships, and make the relationships useful for multiple different things, whether it be just your buddy or someone you're working with, whatever it might be. And one of the main things is network. Network is huge. It's going to help you in any relationship you have, in any job or career that you choose to go into. So keep that in mind. And then next thing is time management. I think time management is one of my biggest strengths. I think it's something that's essential for success in college, your career, whatever you decide to go into. You're going to need to learn time management, and it will help you out in every way possible. Last thing is, Mr. Sleever mentioned club hockey. My buddies and I went and played on the ice one day after a game, after a senior game, and we had an absolute blast. So I decided, why not make something of it? And I talked to Coach Norton, which some of you may or might not know. He was out here, I think, the year before I was out, I think, I'm not sure. And I went to him, I said, this is what we did. We had an absolute blast. We want to take it and make it something. So we weren't just working out in the gym every day or doing whatever it was we were doing. So he said, absolutely, but there's two things. You need an advisor or a supervisor, and you also need to find time to use the ice. And he said, you're absolutely not getting on that ice before my guys are on. It softens it up, you guys know the deal. And so we went out and talked to Coach Boucher, who I think, is he still running it today? He is. Yeah, so we talked to him, and club hockey's still a thing today? Yeah.
31 kids.
31 kids. So we started with probably 15, and it was so much fun. Had an absolute blast. So that was one thing it taught me, take initiative and create opportunities from what you learn. So future thoughts, moving on. One of the board members at Tilton, Dennis Gaudet, told me this one time, it's positive things happen to positive people, and you start to understand that when you start to work around other people. I notice every single day if I go into work and I have a terrible attitude and I in terrible mood, it gets worse. Everyone else around you gets in a bad mood. You don't do well. Nothing ever is, you don't succeed. So try to keep the positive attitude and learn from when you're in a bad attitude how the mistakes you make. Next is constant marginal improvements. A lot of professors, if you're going into business or anything, they'll tell you, there's a Japanese word, kaizen. It's called, I think that's how you pronounce it at least. It's a continuous improvement, and that is also essential for success and growth for whatever you do. Last thing, well, not last thing. So I called my buddies when I found out I was speaking, and I said, what would you speak about? And they kind of paused and they were thinking, I'm not really sure. There's so many different things that Tilton taught me. And I was like, that's exactly what I wanted to hear, because there was so many things that I'm sure you guys don't see now. Some of you might see now, but you'll see when you're out of here in a couple of years, you'll realize you miss the buddies, and your different things that you learn is crazy. You start to realize that. But the last thing is, it's a process, no matter what. Whatever it is, life, your journey through college, everything's a process. Follow the process, listen to what the older people are telling you, because that's one thing I've learned just this year. What they're telling you, they're wise, they know what they're talking about. Just listen to them. Stay focused, determined, prepared. Prepared is huge. And also be persistent. Persistent pays off, and you'll hear that 100 times too. So once again, I appreciate you guys allowing me to talk here today. Peter, thanks for approaching me and asking me to speak. It's an honor. Always looking to give back to Tilton. Tilton changed my life. It truly did. It sounds cliche, but sayings are cliche for a reason. So thank you. I wish you guys the best of luck in your future endeavors, and give back when you can.
Yes. Okay, great. I'm now pleased to introduce a familiar face to most of us. Tia Responte, Tilton class of 2018, was a four-year student from Sandwich, Mass. While at school, she played field hockey, ice hockey, and lacrosse for all 4 years, and during prize night during her senior year, she was awarded Female Athlete of the Year and also received a special faculty award. For those of us who know Tia, we remember clearly her infectious smile. She's smiling right now. Her can-do attitude and her ubiquitous love of people. Tia's the kind of person who is friends with so many of us from so many different places. And she embodies what we mean by meeting people where they are. She's someone who makes connections easily and seamlessly with her peers. She is finishing up her first year at the University of New Hampshire, where she earned a role on the Division I field hockey team. Tonight, she is joined by her proud father, Vinny, and please join me in welcoming Tia Kathleen Responte.
This is a little bit scary, but it's going to go all right. Hi, everyone. It's nice to see you all here tonight. I would like to thank some people before I get started, Mr. Saliba, Mrs. Saliba, Mrs. Sledgley, and the alumni office and your class for allowing me the chance to speak to you tonight. I would like to bring my attention to all the seniors in this room. I see some old faces, some new ones, some old teammates, friends, and teachers and coaches that I was very close with. I can remember so vividly sitting at my table back there in the middle of the room with my friends, and I can remember the student that graduated the year before who came back to speak, and Kelsey Johnson, who represented our senior class, followed by some wise words by Mr. Saliba. So I guess the whole point of having an alumni come back to speak to you all for the next graduating class is so that I can tell you all how much you should take in the last few months, right? I mean, isn't that what this 100 days dinner is supposed to mean? Well, honestly, it's not that simple. I would be lying if I said that taking the time to write this and try to give you insight on how these last few months will go didn't make me emotional at all. As I sat in my library at school brainstorming all these ideas that I could say to you, so much that I wanted to say, but a couple things stood out to me. But one idea in particular. It is such a cliche thing to say, but honestly, no other words fit in the definition of this night, so here it is. You never know what you have until it's gone. Now I know that a lot of you are sitting in this room right now thinking, oh yeah, sure, let me just get through the next couple of months and finally graduate. I can't even express to you how much I thought that last year at this time, and fully claimed that I had senioritis. I wish I had someone to tell me this at this time last year. It really does put into perspective everything that you have had at Tilton and how the smallest moments can mean so much to someone. For instance, whether it was waking up for those 6 a.m. fall skates, those advisor Starbucks runs, seeing Mr. Saliba pull out his cheetah printed hat for his holiday, all school events like black and gold games, seeing Brisson get all fired up for athletic events, or even being yelled at by your coaches from the sidelines. And home nights with your advisors who generously let you into their own homes. I have a quick little story that goes off of that. I can remember in the fall this year, I mentioned to a couple of my teammates how I was able to go to my teacher's house for dinner with my friends, or if they were on duty, we'd be able to go out and hang out and talk to them, and they were immediately concerned, asking if that's even okay to do. I just simply said they become your second family, and I just thought to myself, wow, that can really sound bad for someone who does not understand our life at Tilton. And that just made me feel bad for them because they will never or have never ever know what that kind of high school experience is like. And that's how lucky we are to have the people that we do here. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to tell you simply that your time is now. Your time is now to try something new, to become closer to someone at school, to refurbish those relationships from the past, to finish academically strong, to be kind and to smile, and to respect your teachers and coaches and to enjoy what's happening right now in your lives. It is such an important time in your life to always be kind to those that surround you on a daily basis. You never know where college may take you or what path of your career you will go on, and perhaps you might see your classmates from Tilton along the way, which is why it's very important to always be kind in these last few months. I know that this night is special to you all. It is a celebration of what you have accomplished in high school up to this point, and it is a reminder that you only have 100 days left. What is that supposed to mean? Why is the 100 so special? Isn't 200 or 50 just as special? The answer is no. You're at the most crucial time of your senior year. You're deciding where you're going to college. Some are still finding out and getting accepted. It is a process, and a lot of emotions are probably being felt right about now. It is a time period where AP classwork starts to pick up in preparation for exams at the end of the year. It is also a time where you're at the dead center of winter and every day starts to feel like the same old day. Maybe you are starting to prepare for your spring sports, looking forward to starting something new. These 100 days left is a special milestone for your own reminder to make the most out of Tilton in these last few months. Challenge yourself on a daily basis. Spend some time reflecting on what life at this time next year will be like, almost halfway done with your freshman year. It sounds pretty crazy. I never would have expected or thought I would be where I am today if it was not for Tilton. I have observed, have listened to so many people talk about how they can't handle writing a 10-page paper that's due in 2 days and have practice and lift every day that covers the majority of your day and still go to classes and somehow fit in the time to eat during the day. Yeah, it seems like a lot, but it only is if you can manage your time correctly and make your own routine. I just think to myself how thankful I am that I have to balance everything at Tilton and be away from home, which makes us all one step ahead of another college student. And finally, your attitude of how you handle these situations is all determined from yourself and how you go about it every day. It is important to know and realize that although Tilton has helped you figure out some strengths and weaknesses of being a student and just an overall person, that no one will be there to watch over you in your classes or even in athletics. It all becomes up to you. Your attitude will reflect how successful you will become as a student, an athlete, an artist, or a performer, or anything you choose to get involved with in college. That is the number one thing that separates those who want to be good and those who are going to be great. So just remember that with the remainder of the time that you have here. I urge you to take the time and set some last goals for yourself this year. Not just standards, but goals that you can reach. This will allow you to stay focused and become fully intrigued in all that you may participate in. Be together. Be a whole class. Forgive those in the past if things have gone wrong between you and someone else. It is so special to close on good terms with everyone because you will all be going in your separate ways very soon. Take in Tilton School and think about what this amazing place has given you and where you have grown, where you have failed, and where you have learned. And finally, everyone should look to the person to the right of you. Literally look to the person to the right of you. Look at them and try to think about when you first came in contact with that person here at Tilton, where you have grown with them, or maybe you haven't yet. Make sure you get to know that person a little more because time is precious, and soon this chapter of your Tilton experience will be over and you'll never be able to get it back. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was awesome. This next speaker is your classmate. Clearly, he needs no introduction other than to acknowledge that he earned the honor of speaking here tonight by vote of you, the senior class. I know that he cares about you, his classmates, tremendously, and I'm looking forward to his words tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Patty Barrett.
What's up, guys? I know I wasn't the most serious nominee, but you guys went the smartest. First off, I want to say some thanks to the many people who got me here. the suite and the boys. Special thanks to Mr. Santoro for introducing me to Tilton, Mrs. Lanrosh for looking over my application and accepting me, even though it wasn't the strongest. I'm glad she did. I also wanted to thank all my teachers, even Mr. Lasardo. He made me a better student and reminded me to take my hat off when I forget. So we graduated in 100 days. That is no time at all. Some of us have been in high school for way too long. We're ready to get out and do bigger and better things. So let's not forget about all the small moments here at school that's meant so much to us. As a kid from a small, non-diverse town, I learned I'd be living with someone named Jing Tong Wang. I haven't even met someone from Rhode Island, let alone someone from Shanghai. When I first heard him speak Chinese, I freaked out and called my mom, and no, she could not pick me up that day. But then I got used to it and even had him teach me some sayings, most of them not appropriate for everyday use. And we became friends. These small moments living with Tommy will be the moments I remember for years to come, and living with Bong. My favorite part about the dorms is that we made friends from all around the world. Even though we think we're trapped here at school, we never were. We made our own fun, supporting our friends at their games, playing pickup basketball games, nights in the dorm with the boys, a live concert in Skinner Tower from Hefe. Shout out to the island. As a class, we may have enjoyed our time a little too much at some points like normal high school kids. My biggest learning moment was here at school, at the lowest point, and I quickly realized how lucky I was to be surrounded by people who care and supported me in my situation. Having too much fun can lead to its consequences that we must endure, and learn from our mistakes because detention sucked, and doing Mr. Santoro's chores was not how we want to spend our spring day. 100 days is not all the time. As you walk into class, I want you to look around, because you won't be walking these halls for much longer. Have a conversation with Bob and Harrigan in the mark a couple more times. When you're in class on Saturday morning and you're pissed off, don't think, Jesus, get me out of here. Think, damn, I like class. In the dining hall, don't walk in and say, oh, chicken again? Think chicken, let's go. Go to the bonfire, sing some country music with Frosty. Have a little snack offs with the boys. Sorry, sauce. Talk to a teacher you've never talked to before. Take that extra RAM train, even if you don't want to leave your dorm. Go sled and enjoy the snow, because next year you might be lucky enough not to be around it. But then there are also some stuff that we can leave behind us, like dorm check-in, chores, Khan Academy classes, 4-hour-long trips to Hebron for idols, study hall, grade level programming, and capstone. Enjoy these last days. We'll be out soon enough for the summer in college where we'll have more freedom. Let's graduate together and end the year strong, and look back at these times with happy thoughts and no regrets. Thank you all for a great year, and making this one the most memorable one.
Before I recognize our four-year seniors, I wanted to do a few things. First, I want you to know that saying goodbye is a very difficult and a very hard thing to do. Both for the people who are leaving with you, but also for the ones that are staying here. It is something that is definitely difficult. A departure often brings out strong emotions in everyone. Sometimes these emotions are positive, sometimes they're negative. All of us need to be aware of these forces as we say goodbye to each other. The second piece I want to leave you with is I hope you will start considering the new role that you will have in this school after commencement. That is the role of being members of our alumni body. I cannot overemphasize the importance of this group of people who will be connected to this school forever. I know that some of you may be very ready to leave. Most of you have reached the point where the rules make this place seem like jail. But I do know that all of you will value what happened during your time here at Tilton. It might even be that you'll miss this place more than you could ever imagine. And I know this because I'm on the road talking to alumni, taking their calls, and reading their letters about how much they value
the people that they got to know during their time here at school. Tilton exists because of its alumni. They support the school, they guard its history, its traditions, and they spread our good word. They are the ones who are really responsible for keeping Tilton a thriving place. As members of the alumni, all of you have a responsibility to care for this school, and it's an expectation that I have of you, that you will take care of us. I believe all of you will make this a better place. And I am looking forward to seeing all of you at your 5th year reunion. I'll be a little older, a little balder, and maybe still driving the Zamboni, but I can't wait to see you. That's a moment that I look forward to. 2 final items. I did want to honor you, the class of 2019, to let you know about a decision that I've made. Each year when we dress for commencement, in the past we have used different colors for our gowns. Black for boys and white for girls. This has been something that I've been thinking about ever since I arrived here at Tilton School. And over the course of the last 7 years, I've had a number of conversations about how commencement should not be a time when we separate members of the class, members of the senior class by the color of their gowns. There are lots of educational and philosophical reasons to have us all wear the same color, including you are one senior class. All of you have earned the same diploma, and gender should not be an overt description at commencement. This is a decision that I've arrived to after speaking with many people, and I'm pretty excited actually to have everyone together wearing the same color at commencement. Of course, anybody who'd like to talk to me about this decision, come on by. My office is always open, but it's one that I've carefully considered over a long period of time. And then finally, senior privileges. Each year, the seniors can request from the school some special privileges to honor the commitment and the hard work of their class. You too, the class of 2019, have the chance to submit a request for a privilege, which you should do through your class president, Sarah Shartner, no later than Friday, February 22nd. This will give us a chance to review your requests and make sure that all seniors in good standing. What does good standing mean? Nikolai? Nikolai, give it a try, Nikolai. What's good standing? Me? Yes, Nikolai Boffinger. Okay, if you're Nikolai, you're a good standing. Give me something more, Nikolai.
Honor roll.
No, Nikolai. Not all of us are as smart as you. If you're making your commitments, you're in dress code, and you're upholding the values of the school, you're in good standing. All right? So, for those in good standing, senior privileges will begin after March break. I encourage you to propose privileges that are reflective of your class and what you value. And no, I get this one every year, seniors are not allowed to cut the line when chicken fingers are being served. Please don't ask for that. I'd now like to recognize a special group of individuals. These seniors have been with us for 4 years. And I'd like the following individuals to stand as your name is called. After the conclusion of me reading the list, we will applaud for them all at once. And then that group will go back for a photograph at the back of the room. And then all of us will gather around the Tilton School Alumni Association banner. So, let's go reverse alphabetical order. Charles Joe, Jalen Zahn, Queen Yan, Tommy Wang, Darren Turkin, Annika Dulos, Robin Tien, Brian Thompson, Alexis Thomas, Elsa Sun, Sarah Shartner, Peter Saliba, Joe Saliba, Olivia Patterson, Zoe Nash Boucher, Robbie Maduga. Your earphones out, Robbie? That's it. Nate McCarville, Blaine Manning, Regina Ma, James Lynn, Icy Lee, Matthew Levesque, Cheyenne Johnson, Abby Johnson, Bridget Hosmer, Yvette Gow, Andrew Frost, Maggie DeVoy, Casey Cormier, Haydong Chung, Nikolai Goodstanding Boffinger, Isabel Benoit, and Jess Beecher. Jess, I apologize. Round of applause for the 4-year. Go ahead and grab a seat. I'm extraordinarily proud of you all. And as we dismiss for our pictures, I do have one expectation for you all. That's really important to me. I'd like to see everybody who's here tonight in this room at commencement. That means taking care of each other, guiding each other to make the right choices, and making sure that you care for one another. That's something that's really important to me, and something that I hope you'll uphold. You guys are a great class, and congratulations, class of 2019.